Yeah.
What's up, guys? It's been a hot minute, but we're back with more episodes of Diner Dash. It's K-Man Raps, and obviously, you know, Lemur. We're here at Don Cha. It's a Peruvian joint here in our hometown, and we're going to be checking it out. So, for those of you who are new to this series, the idea is we're trying hole-in-the-wall restaurants that we've never ate at before in our hometown, and we are rating them to determine whether they are a dine or whether they are a dash, whether you should eat there or whether you should stay as far away as you possibly can. We rate them on 5 different things. We rate the vibes of the restaurant, we rate the food at the restaurant, we rate the service at the restaurant, the price of said food/service, and at some point one of us will check out the bathroom and give the bathroom a rating. We take it all into account. We each give our own individual scores, take an average, and it gets a final score at the end. So, today we're checking out Don Cha. As always, before we go into the restaurant, we like to check out reviews of said restaurant. We usually read a 5-star review and a 1-star review to sort of get both ends of the spectrum, people that are glazing the restaurant, people that are trashing the restaurant. So, Lemur, I believe you've pulled up some reviews.
I have.
Now, from what you told me 2 seconds ago, you struggled to even find some 1-star reviews, which, you know, can be a good sign. Maybe.
Yeah. Overall, it's got 4.9. The 5-star reviews are off the charts. There's like a little sliver of 4-star, and like on a little like review summary bar system that they have, I don't even see any 1-stars. So I had to actually like go into the settings and stuff. So here is a 1-star review from not sure how to pronounce that. Quivan, I guess. Quivan.
Sure.
Yeah, it's from about a year ago, and it says the following. Got the sauteed beef and the fried pork chop. Both entree was dry and tough. Fried rice was also dry and hard. Yuca and tostones were the only thing good. 2 people came out to $70. I went to the one on Fort Walton Beach, and it was much better.
Okay.
Okay.
Dang, $70 for 2 people.
Yeah, let's hope that maybe that's not going to be the case with us. We'll try to be frugal, obviously, but we'll see.
Nope, I'm dumping the whole kids' college fund into this one video.
All right, here is a 5-star review from Valerie Mendez, and it is from 3 weeks ago. Best hidden gem in town. The food and service is 10 out of 10. Menu seems intimidating, but is far from it. So many choices to choose from. Seafood, steak, chicken, soups, and vegetarian dishes. They also have a good amount of gluten-free options. Hey, you with celiac? You know?
Shout out to the celiacs.
I mean, we know a couple people. We knew a couple people. I don't think they've keeled over from it or anything.
Shout out to our undead celiacs.
Adding pictures from all my visits. Food, 5 out of 5. Service, 5 out of 5. Atmosphere, 5 out of 5. They say no wait time. Seating type is indoor dining area, bar area, outdoor patio, terrace, and booth seating. Recommendation for vegetarians is, well, it's highly recommended. Vegetarian offering, menu, or section, well, I don't really know what that's about. Anyways. Dietary restrictions, gluten-free, parking space, plenty of parking.
Yeah, I mean, clearly.
Kid-friendly, according to this reviewer.
Oh, good, because I brought my kid with me. Anyways, I'm excited to check this out. The reviews seem promising and also daunting at the same time. That 1-star review was pretty brutal. Also, I believe that's pronounced yucca. It's a type of root, which I've never actually had, but apparently it's something it's like a potato. I know we sell them.
I think you make tapioca starch from it, if I'm not mistaken.
Possibly. And then tostones are similar, I believe, as well. So, that being said, I'm ready to go and see what this place looks like. And yeah, I'm hungry if you're hungry.
I'm hungry. I haven't eaten all day.
Let's get after it. Hello. We're back. We're in the car now after our lovely lunch date at Don Cha's. So fast. The people.
Lunch date? Bruh.
You asked me out to Don Cha's. I went to Don Cha's. Anyways, this is
goodbye.
No, leave it. The people need you. The people need you. Your opinion is of utmost importance here. People have literally told me that they love the videos with you. We need you. Anyways, so let's just say, as with a lot of these places, Don Cha's was not what we were expecting, respectfully.
Yeah.
Outside appearances, going in, before we even looked at reviews, it gives off vibes of like your standard like small hole in the wall, like maybe like a Peruvian barbecue joint. You walk up to a counter, you get some takeout, you go. Not the case. This is essentially the equivalent of like Peruvian fine dining in America. And we did not anticipate that going in. The person in the review, the 1-star review, who said that they spent like $70 and it was outrageous, they probably went into it the same way that we did, not anticipating that. I mean, you do have to be a little frugal and not just, get so gung-ho, trigger happy that you're just pulling the trigger on random stuff on the menu. So there are ways to avoid it being that much. But at the same time, looking over the menu, which I'll put up some photos of the menu, it's definitely not easy to get cheap food here, I would say.
Yeah. Yeah.
First things first, we'll just knock this out the way. I don't know that we always do these things in this order, but we'll just knock this out the way. We'll start with the bathroom, since that's the most recent thing that we did. Bathroom, it was very unassuming. It was your run-of-the-mill bathroom. There was not anything extra, no fancy amenities. I didn't even notice any fancy decorations. It was clean enough. I'm not gonna rate it super high. I give it like a 2 on the bathroom scale.
Yeah, I'd say 2 is fair. It almost felt like just a little bit cramped, like the like the way that the paper towel dispenser and like soap was set up in like the front of it. It just kind of felt big. Yeah. It felt almost like you were in like part of their kitchen almost, and like just kind of like, if you've ever gone into like a grocery store, like a Winn-Dixie or something that doesn't have the bathrooms up front, and you're like, hey, is there a bathroom? And they're like, oh yeah, just follow me back down this dark hallway and we'll let you use our bathroom. And it's like, am I allowed to be back here? Like, that's a little bit the vibe I got. Yeah,
kind of just like, but hey, it handled the business the way any bathroom would handle the business.
Yeah, it was a bathroom. The plumbing worked and everything. We inspected the plumbing, so to speak. So
the best way to describe that bathroom is sufficient. It literally
is sufficient for its purpose.
So I gave it a 2, he gave it a 2. So overall, the bathroom gets a score of 2. We can do the math on that in a moment. Outright, just straight up vibes of the restaurant. What are your thoughts?
I thought the vibes were pretty chill. The music wasn't super loud. The decorations were nice. You know, like you commented on the llamas.
Yes, on point. It felt Peruvian. As much as anything in America can feel Peruvian. I've never been to Peru, but from what I know from watching Emperor's New Groove, definitely felt Peruvian. Shows how uncultured I am. Yeah, like you said, the music wasn't overbearing. Obviously, we came at like 3 on a Wednesday, so
it was basically dead.
Yeah. There was one other couple in there, and they quickly left as soon as they saw that we were there. Not really, but there was one other couple there. But if that place was like hopping, I could see it being a chill vibe, like legit. Obviously, with it being just us, it was a little bit of an awkward vibe, but I'd give it, as far as just the vibes of the actual restaurant itself, I'd give it a 3.5. Nothing was like over the top, like, oh wow, this is crazy. But like, it was better than average, which middle of the road on a 5. We do everything on a 5-star scale, by the way, guys. So 1 is abominable. 5 is like, this is exquisite, the most phenomenal place we've ever been. So like 3 is kind of right down the middle, and I think it was definitely better than just being super duper basic. They put some effort into their restaurant.
Yeah, I'd say I'd even go so far as to give it a 4 because I don't know, the lighting, it seemed pretty on point. It wasn't super like dim and dingy. I think the way that the floor was set up was pretty neat and interesting.
Yeah, true. Touche. All of the booths were like kind of like raised up. I've got photos of this that I'll put throughout the video. But yeah, so
and it seemed like there was kind of like a pattern going on with the floor, like right by the booths.
Oh yeah.
It kind of had like a, I don't know, not like a deco kind of style.
Yeah. I know what you mean. And there was like a bar area. We didn't go over there, but it looked clean and you know, it was good. So I give it a 3.5. You gave it a 4, so that gives it a 3.75 right down the middle. Next up, we've got the service. Service-wise, the lady was super duper friendly. I mean, it wasn't hopping, so it's not like she had anything better to do with her time, and she was probably glad that somebody was in there that she could serve. But she was on point. We didn't wait long at all in between anything. Anytime we asked for stuff, like as far as like recommendations, she was very quick to give us recommendations and to tell us about stuff. And even when we didn't ask, she would ask if we had questions, or she would give updates and stuff. I feel like she really described everything. I feel like some restaurants you go in and you're like, what do you recommend? And they're like, well, I don't know. I don't ever eat here. Or like, and it's like, all right, bro, like, be helpful. Or you're like, what comes in the pasta Alfredo? And they're like, oh, I think it's got like some pasta. And it's like, all right, guys.
I think it might be like some sliced chicken. Some
yeah.
Like,
nah, she was very on point describing all of the dishes. So, props to her. Someone give that woman a raise. So, as far as the actual service goes, I'd say the service was phenomenal from, what she had to deal with. So, 4.5 for me. I'd say that was really, really good service on her part.
You know what? I'm going to give it a 5. She was friendly. She was attentive. She was checking up on us regularly. She gave us tips for, like, how to eat some of the stuff, too. Like the little, like, popcorn things, whatever they're called.
I'll put a photo when we get to the food of all of the stuff that they gave us as far as like appetizers and things go. But yeah, she was very much on point of describing it. I think she could tell that we were just two dumb white kids who had never eaten, food like this. And so she was like, this is how you should properly eat it. That way we're not just over there, taking their Peruvian food and making it into our version of Peruvian food.
Yeah, or like just like, giving us tips on like how to not like get overwhelmed with like the spice, because like giving us a little bit of warning with like how spicy some of the stuff was, and even made like a Drake and Josh reference about the Peruvian hot pepper. That was fun.
Yeah, that was fun, and I will say like that's good on her, especially for like obviously we've done the 1 chip challenge. I eat spicy stuff all the time, so we can handle spice, but for she doesn't know that, and for people who can't, it's good to know that she is on point with that, being like, just a heads up, this might kill you, so take it easy,
Yeah, don't do a lot, just a little bit on the plate there.
Exactly. So she was good. 4.5 from me, 5 for you. That's a 4.75. So service was phenomenal. Next, we'll go to the actual food itself, just as far as like taste-wise goes. And I'll put up photos. First, we have the little... I don't even know if it's an appetizer. Think of it kind of like Texas Roadhouse brings you the rolls, or they bring you the peanuts. This place brings you this. Now, I don't remember what specifically she called it. I should have gotten a name, but essentially it's, a lime wedge that you can put over it. It's toasted corn, essentially. It's like a popcorn, she said.
Yeah, it's like popped corn kernels or something like that.
Yes, but
like
it's not
breed.
But it's not popcorn,
Yeah, it's almost like corn pops.
Exactly. It's more like a mix between corn pops, corn nuts, that type of thing. It has a lime wedge you can squeeze on it. I believe it was like salted, and then there was a spicy sauce to go with it. As far as that goes, was a really unique, like, I guess it's an appetizer or a tableside thing. It was unique. It was good. I don't know. It would take some getting used to for me to be able to just chow down on a ton of it. But as far as like in the moments while I was waiting, wanting to just, try it, like it wasn't bad.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty decent.
And then for the appetizer, Lemur, you ordered the Trio de Ceviches, which he graciously was willing to let me try along with him as well. It was mahi-mahi, chunks of mahi-mahi, as well as sweet potatoes. It was like onions, I believe, that were marinated.
Yeah, like sliced red onions, and it's all kind of marinated in like this. Well, there were three different flavors of sauces that they were doing, and like, I think the center one, it had like a little bit of a different accoutrement. They all came with like some kind of like a corn.
Yeah.
The center one was like hominy, basically.
Yeah, the center one was a white corn that was a softer type. It was more like a hominy. And then the two outer ones had that like toasted corn thing that we had at the beginning.
Yeah, the toasted like popped corn kernels that almost give like sunflower seed kind of
yeah, very, very sunflower seed-ish. There was a spicy one, a sweet one, and then like a mild one.
Yeah.
As far as that goes, it was a very unique experience for me. I would not order it myself, but it was worth the try. I tried all three flavors. I feel like the pieces of mahi-mahi were a little big. I would have preferred, like, anytime I've seen ceviche, it's usually when I see it, it's like really like ground up, like
it's like more of a dice.
Yeah, it's more of a dice, whereas these were like big, like almost like cubes and like chunks of it.
And they were like slices of sweet potato and stuff.
Yeah,
so like you kind of gotta like cut a little bit of it off with a spoon.
Yeah, it was definitely a mouthful with each bite, which I'm not sure. Just it's all cold. It wasn't exactly my thing, but I tried every single one. I wouldn't say it was overly bad. It just wasn't necessarily for me. I can see why people like it.
Yeah, I really quite enjoyed it. I like sushi. I'm not opposed to raw fish now and again. And our friend K-Man here famously does not like pickles. So I can see why this probably wasn't necessarily his cup of tea.
Yeah.
Because it's all like marinated in some kind of like acid, which kind of denatures the proteins in the fish to some degree.
I like fish. I love sushi. I eat sushi a lot. But just really big chunks like that, where it's just like cold fish with cold sweet potato and cold sauce and like onions just sliding down, just not really for me. But I do understand it. So like if you're a ceviche person, you would probably like, I think based on what I know, if you like ceviche, that was probably really good ceviche.
Yeah, I'd say if the form factor were a little bit different, like if everything was like, kind of cut up a little bit more manageable so you don't gotta do so much of it yourself, I think that the ceviche would have been like a solid like 4 out of 5.
Yeah.
But in this case, I'm probably gonna give the ceviche itself like a 3. I'd say a 3 is pretty good.
Yeah, it was kind of in the middle there. Which a lot of times with these places, we'll both order something different, which we'll get into that in a moment as to partially why we didn't do that. But a lot of times, like, he'll get something, I'll get something, and we'll rate it all separately. But yeah, you gave it a 3. It wasn't necessarily for me, so I'm going to give it a 2.5 as far as the ceviche goes. But that we'll do the food as a whole. We won't do each individual thing. For the main course that he and I both actually ended up getting the same thing. We got the pan con chicharron, which is a chicharron sandwich. I believe it was a ciabatta bread, and then it had a grilled sweet potato base on it with some more of those onions that were marinated in, I believe, lime juice, she said. And then it was braised pork belly on top of it. And for what it was really, really good. Towards the end of it, for me, it started getting a little dry, and I was kind of trying to have to work to get through it. But it was a unique flavor because I'm not crazy on sweet potatoes, and having that, it was a lot of sweetness in my savory, which I'm not super into all the time. But for what it was really good. I finished it. And I think out of all of the things on that menu, that's probably one of the best things. She said it's one of the best rated sandwiches in the world as far as types of sandwiches go. I thought it was pretty good. What did you think?
I thought it was a pretty decent sandwich. I think the bread was nice and soft. It wasn't stale or anything.
Yeah. It was buttery.
I think the meat probably could have had a little bit more moisture to it.
What he said.
But kind of like what he said, it was also a little bit more towards the end. The sandwich on the whole, I would say, wasn't super dry.
Yeah.
He said while we were eating it that it probably could use the sauce. I'm not so sure about that. I feel like maybe if the meat itself were just a little bit more juicy, that probably will suffice.
Yeah, I would agree with that. You don't necessarily need a sauce as long as the meat is juicy enough. But there towards the end, I was kind of man, I need some au jus or something to dunk this in because I'm working for my meal here. But that being said, it was good for what it was. Portion wise, as far as the trio de ceviches and the pan con chicharron, how do you feel about the portion sizes for both?
I think the portion was pretty good. I'm full.
Yeah, I'm full. The sandwich was definitely filling. It was nice big pieces of braised pork belly, almost like having ribs on a sandwich. Essentially, it's like a Peruvian McRib. Not really, but they were very big pieces. So it's funny because looks are deceiving. Because when she brought them out, they're on a fairly decent sized plate, and it's just the one square, so it actually didn't look super big, but it was definitely filling for what it was. And the trio de ceviches, I think low-key, if you love ceviche, that could low-key be a meal on its own.
Honestly, yeah, I'd say so. If I were to just go to town on that all by myself, I think that and a small side would have been.
Yeah, for sure. So overall for the food, obviously the ceviche wasn't necessarily my thing, but the sandwich was good. I'd give the food, for me, if I'm giving the ceviche, taking it down a little bit for me, I'd say overall I'd give it a 3.5 on the food. For me. I don't think it's not outstanding. There might be better stuff on the menu that I would appreciate more. But for what I had, it was definitely better than what I don't even know if it was better than what I expected, but it was adequate.
Yeah, I'd say I'd probably give it a 4. I will admit I really did like that ceviche. I think it was pretty bomb.
Okay, he really liked the ceviche, so he gave it a 4. I'm giving it a 3.5, which gives it a 3.75 as far as the overall food itself, taste and flavor-wise goes. And last but not least here on this journey, we have to talk about the price, which I know Lemur's been dreading talking about. The pan con chicharron itself on the menu before tax, I believe it's $10.99, I think is what I saw. And honestly, I didn't skim it super hard, but apart from ordering a kid's meal, I think that was the cheapest thing I saw on the menu at $10.99. And I think that's a decent price for what we got for a sandwich itself. Anywhere you're probably going to be paying $10 for a sandwich, probably. It didn't come with anything as far as a side or a drink. But for the sandwich itself, I think that was a fair price for what we got as far as the sandwich goes. The trio de ceviche, however, was $35.60, I believe, which he didn't realize it was that when he ordered it. looking back, you probably wouldn't have.
Yeah, that was very expensive.
$35.60 for the Trio de Ceviche, which, and I told him, I was like, I don't even necessarily care that much for it. If I loved it and it was really good, I could see it being 17, maybe even $20. 36 is a lot.
Yeah.
A lot for that ceviche. So I definitely see that taking this price factor down. And that was an appetizer on the menu. Everything else on there, the majority of the things on their menu were like $25.99. I even saw something on there that was like $54 something for like some really like just, again, it's finer dining. We didn't know that going into it, but that's definitely something to take into account.
Yeah, this is like not so much a casual place as like a date spot. You know, like take a girl here, buy her some expensive food, and like, you know,
hit the town,
have a good time.
Yeah,
but like,
yeah. You're not gonna casually go here on your lunch break from work.
This is not somewhere to just go with the bros for some cheap grub, you know.
Which we would have enjoyed that probably more, but hey, you know, that's what the show is about. That's what it's for. So yeah, there was that. I just got a regular water to drink. Lemur got a soda water, which was like $3.50.
Yeah, $3.50 for carbonated water.
Which that's kind of crazy in and of itself. But it's also crazy considering that you said, can I get a sparkling water? And she had to clarify, I only have soda water. We don't have like Pellegrino or something. Which Pellegrino isn't even like upper echelon soda like sparkling water. But the fact that you paid $3.50 for not even what they would consider upper echelon soda water, just fountain soda water, is definitely a ripoff there. I would, come on, people. I've seen how these places work. It's not hard to get soda water in a cup. You're not having some mixologist back there whipping up this fancy sparkling water cocktail. No.
You know what? I bet I paid the $3.50 for it to be in a glass and have a lime wedge.
Yeah, you're right. They have to charge for the glass and the lime wedge. But overall, price-wise, this place is exorbitant with the prices. The portion sizes are good, but you gotta go into it ready for that. We did not go into it ready for that, and this is not something you can just go get every day.
I will say though, a lot of the plate meals seemed like they are probably a bit more fairly priced for what they include, because like, you know, a lot of them are like a protein and like fried rice,
yes,
and like some kind of like vegetable side, or whatever.
The ones that I saw that I was debating getting apart from the pan con chicharron was I was looking at one that had like 2 pieces of marinated chicken, and it came with like potatoes and some rice and like a salad. So like that I can understand being like $15, $16, which it was. And then some of the bigger ones were like 25, 30-ish. I don't know how much comes on those. But I definitely think our sandwich was fairly priced. The Trio de Ceviche and the water definitely were not. Price-wise, this place, I gotta give it like a 2.5. I think it's probably adequate. But considering that the food wasn't anything, and it's probably really good Peruvian food, considering the food wasn't something where I was like I did not leave this place thinking, oh, I have to bring my parents back here. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I got to give it a 2.5 just because I think price-wise, it's, you know what? I'm going to actually go even lower. I know this is terrible, but I'm going to give it a 2. I'm just going to give it a 2. It's pretty high priced. My parents, I know how my parents are, and they would not eat here because of the prices. And I think I could see myself splurging this much money if I was on like a date with a nice young godly woman, but I can't just regularly go here, and I don't have friends that I would be like, oh, you have to go here. There's better places, in my opinion. So I'm giving it a 2.
I'd say if we probably didn't get one of the more expensive appetizers and got something that was more like a plate meal that had more to it, the pricing would probably be a little bit more reasonable. So for that, I'm gonna be generous and give it a 2.5.
Okay, so collectively with us together, that gives the price a 2.25, which that's not all things considered. You know, 1 is the worst you can do. That's not terrible, but it is on the higher end of things.
Yeah.
So, we did the bathroom.
What was that for the bathroom again?
For the bathroom, I wanted to say I gave it a 2.5 because it was sufficient. What did you give?
I think I also gave it a 2.5.
Okay, so that collectively is just a 2.5 on the bathroom.
Right.
So we did the bathroom. We did the service, we did the vibes, we did the price, we did the food itself. If we add all of that together and then divide it by 5.
Divided by 5, that gives us a total average score of 3.4.
So, 3.4 out of 5. So, it's still a good score, but it's very middle of the road. You could probably get a 4 or a 5 restaurant for cheaper. Is it a dine or is it a dash? I'd say for the experience and because we got to try new things and we enjoyed parts of what we did, I'd say for a one-time go, or maybe to try a couple times to get some different things, I'd say it's a dine, but it's not like a regular dine.
Yeah, I'd say the same. It's a good spot to try out. It's a good spot to probably go out on a date to.
Get some Peruvian food as a,
Or if you've got an adventurous palate like myself, I'd say it's a dine.
Yeah, it's a low-tier dine. Out of all the places there are, it's definitely one to try out. I don't know that it's going to become your regular spot to go to.
Yeah, it's not the most affordable, but despite that, it's still decent.
Yes. All right. And last but not least, because Lemur came up with this great idea, and we're going to start doing this now regularly in our Diner Dash videos. At the beginning of the video, we always look at the reviews of, the places. We get a 5-star review and a 1-star review and get our opinion. Because of that, we're now going to start leaving a review on all of the places that we've gone to. Good for what it is, but a bit pricey for a regular stop. Could be good for a date or an evening on the town. I think so.
All right.
And you can say we got lunch, I guess, technically, even though we ate at 3. Good job. So, we've done our part. Thank you guys so much for joining us for yet another episode of Diner Dash. If you are in the Pensacola area where we are and you know of some place that we just absolutely have to try that's not going to drain our wallets, don't recommend Jackson's. We already know about Jackson's. We're not going to Jackson's. We're not going to the Blue Marlin. None of that.
Not going to Bayou Bistro.
Grand Marlin. Not going to Blackwater Bistro.
Blackwater Bistro.
Blackwater Bistro can sniff my socks for all I care. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. My name is Kyle, a.k.a. K-Man Raps. This is Logan, a.k.a. Lemerson Lemur. He has a YouTube channel. Go subscribe. There's nothing on it yet, but there will be.
You probably won't find it searching for it.
You probably won't, no, but he's going to hopefully, hop into the voice acting scene. So go support everything that this guy does. And I am working on getting episodes of my podcast out for you guys. He will be the first guest on it once I do. I just have a couple more episodes that I need to record. So get excited for that. And January 31st, my first project, Handlebars, is dropping on every single streaming platform. It is phase 1 of my big 2026 project. So get hyped for that. Go listen to my single Wave Runner, and I'm going to catch you guys in the next video. This is K-Man Raps reminding each and every single one of you lovely, beautiful people at home that this time, it's for real. Peace. Lemur would love to buy you some ceviche.
Hey, baby, come eat some raw fish with me.